I'm Dr. Bryan Hamlin, and I live in Medford, and I love the Fells. I'm chairman of the Friends of the Fells. I'm also vice president of the New England Botanical Club. The Fells is really unique. What other city in the world has a wild forest of significant size right inside the city? In 1893, there was a stock market crash. The state was already under pressure by naturalists to create this reservation. In 1893, it became economically possible for them to buy the whole lot, the entire Fells Reservation as we see it today, for $80,000. So why such a funny name as the Middlesex Fells? Well, first of all, we are in Medford in the county of Middlesex. Middlesex is also a county in England. And the Fells is an Old English word meaning an outcrop of rocks, basically something that you can fall off of. So the geology of Eastern Mass is really complicated, and I'm standing here on what many geologists believe is the northern rim of an enormous extinct volcano, which is amazing. Different parts of the Fells have different types of rocks. That leads to different types of soils, different pHs, different soil texture, and so that's why we can find almost 900 different species of plant. When the Fells was created in 1894, the state ordered a total survey of all the plants here. And that was published in 1896, known as the Dean Report. So when I moved to Medford in 2003, I felt it was time that we had a full follow-up survey. So I started off on my own, but nobody can do it on their own. And eventually I built a team of 4 people, and sometimes we also needed the help of experts on certain difficult types of plants. But it's taken us 8.5 years, and now the survey will be published in the spring of 2012. What has been fascinating is that we've been able to track, therefore, well over 800 different species of plant. What has happened to them in 100 years? A few that really like it cold have just disappeared. But there's another group of plants, and I'm looking at one here. It's a very beautiful woodland plant. It's known as striped wintergreen, Chimaphila maculata for the scientists. And 100 years ago, Dean reported it as rare. Now, it's wonderfully common throughout the woods. Why? Well, it's called climate change, as well as the fact that, of course, once the Fells was created in 1894, no more logging, and so the trees have grown bigger and bigger with heavier canopies, so the wood has gotten darker. And we've seen close to 30% increase in precipitation. So any plants that like it rather dark and rather moist, they have flourished. Some of the other not such good things, a tripling of non-native plants, some of which are very aggressive and are called invasives, and which then compete with and knock out native, usually prettier plants. And we've seen a tripling of non-native plants in the last 100 years. That's the sad side. But overall, the biodiversity has stayed high at 870 different species. And that's a good measure of the health of these woods. But they need caring for. So if you care about the Fells and want to know more about the Fells, go to the Friends of the Fells webpage at fells.org. I've also got another webpage, foundinthefells.com. And then there's the Friends of the Fells Facebook.